My name is Jamie Tibbetts. I'm from Epigroove here in Chicago.
Here we go.
Yes.
What do you think about the bailouts?
I'm pro bailout. I don't, as far as I know, and I don't know specific details, but I'm for people not losing their job. I'm for car brands that have long history not going under. And as far as I can tell, the government got most or all of the money back, so I don't see how you could be against that.
What was your first car?
I could answer that 3 different ways. First car, it was sort of mine. I didn't own it, but my dad bought it off a neighbor. 1986 used Isuzu Pup 4-speed. And he got that originally from a neighbor who originally bought it to tow his boat in and out of the water, but soon realized that the truck was woefully unprepared for that task. So I got it to go to college, and it was good for towing stuff back and forth, but it couldn't even get out of my parking spot if there was just a tiny bit of ice. I had to put a huge bag of sand in the back. So I got about a year's worth out of that before my dad took it back and got me a 91 Honda Civic DX, which is like the lowest of the low. Manual everything. In fact, it only came with 2 speakers. I had to go and have speakers drilled in the back to have rear speakers. That was sort of my first car, because that was the first car I actually had to do oil changes on and put all money into maintenance. But after a while that started kind of breaking down, and I was sick of putting money into it. So the first car I bought and own outright now, and it's actually the same car I still use, is a 2002 Honda Civic SI.
Are you into supercars at all?
No. I you know, you grow up and, you know, you're in junior high and everybody, like I grew up in the 80s, so, you know, growing up we talked about, you know, everybody wanted a Countach with the doors that, you know. But at a certain point it wore off. I didn't, you know, carry that into adulthood. So, I mean, if you asked me, would I take a Tesla? Sure. But I don't pine over supercars at all, no.
What kind of car style do you prefer? I.e. like a hatchback, a wagon, a coupe, a sedan?
Probably don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. I have a hatchback. My wife has a hatchback. We're hatchback people. If I had to buy a new car, would I buy a hatchback? No. It's just whatever strikes my fancy at, you know, that time. Whatever's out, I'll buy if it looks cool.
What country do you think makes the best cars?
Don't care. I don't think I'll ever care. I'm more about features, I guess. I don't really care where it comes from. My next car, when my Civic eventually dies, and I will run that thing into the ground, by then I will probably and hopefully have a choice of a ton of kick-ass electric cars, and I really probably won't give a shit where they come from, just as long as they're good.
What are your 3 favorite cars on the road today?
I don't follow cars, so I don't really have an answer, but I think anytime you ask me that from now on, I'll probably say whatever the latest electronic cars are. The electric cars are where it's at, so you got Tesla, the Leaf, and the Volt, pretty much.
Tell us about a good car dealership experience you've had.
The only experience I've had with a dealership buying a car is when I bought my 2002 Civic. And I went on the internet because I don't want to deal with people. I'm not a bargaining person. And I just went on, contacted 3 dealerships in the area, asked them to give me their lowest price, and took that price and went, asked the dealership down the street. I didn't even go in, I just called them. I'm like, can you match this price? Sales manager said yes. I'm like, I will be there in 2 minutes. Went in, bought the car, and left a couple hours later.
How often do you drive, and do you enjoy driving when you do?
I don't drive very often because I work out of the house. Do I enjoy driving? No. Only because usually driving where I live involves stoplights, traffic, everything you can possibly think of that's annoying about driving. I'm very rarely on the open road going as fast as I want to go with no traffic, so yeah, I generally don't like driving.
Tell me a road trip story.
I'm not a big drive long distances kind of guy, or wasn't until last year. After 4 or 5 hours, I gotta get out of the car. I can't stand it. But we did drive last year to Asheville, North Carolina from Chicago, so it was 12 hours each way, and I made the entire trip back with dogs, and I survived. So maybe I will become a road trip guy in my later life.
Car color.
Black.
Chevy or Ford?
Ford.
Manual or auto?
Automatic.
BMW, Audi?
Who cares?
Coupe, convertible?
Coupe.
Drive or be driven?
Drive.
EV, hybrid, gasoline, or diesel?
EV. It's the future. What are you gonna do? We absolutely should have a goof reel. You could have a whole video, the actual video, and then you could have like the evil alternate video where it's just nothing but us yelling at each other.
Okay, good. I'm recording. Here we go. Have you had a bad car dealer experience?
Well, ask me the good one first.
Oh.
Well, no, it makes sense because ask me.
I'll edit that. That's called editing.
Listen. Ask me the good one, and then when
You know what? I want to keep it.
What? What am I? Car life, yes.
What was your first car?
No, you can't do that because I'm staring at you looking into the mic. You said 1, 2, 3, you dumb bastard. I can elaborate a little on that.
Well, I mean, why don't you then?
What are you pointing at me for? What? You gotta give me more time to think of more than that. Good God. What? I'm drawing a blank. You're not gonna use this part, are you, with me going, What? Why did